You know, something you said earlier that struck me. I read a study by this woman. I can't remember her name in the '90s. I was a teenager then, and I was trying to figure out my place in life because I was going through a lot of similar situations that you were. And her peers deemed this study laughable. What she said was a lot of kids in urban communities are actually going through what soldiers in the first Gulf War went through, which is post-traumatic syndrome disorder, and that they needed help in these communities because these kids are suffering. It's going to be a long-term effect, and it's going to be a ripple effect actually that's going to occur where whatever they're going through is going to somehow, some way, they're going to act out in whatever manner you want to deem it. It could be black and black crime, it could be molestations, whatever traumatic situation they went through, they're going to act it out because they have no way to purge themselves, if for lack of a better term. So I think that a lot of people in your situation when you were a child, I think that was the catalyst of a lot of things that came after, you know, your actions. But yeah, a lot of people in communities, not just in Baltimore, but throughout this country, and in parts of the world, a lot of parts of the world are going through the similar situation where the youth are not being acknowledged as victims.
And they are victims.
Yeah, they are victims.
Right now, they acting out is because they want the attention that we're not giving them. You know, we look at it now, even the ones that's fortunate enough to have parents, you know, the parents is not there with them, you know, because they have to work. The economy is so bad right now, and you know, and that's where we lost focus with our kids years ago, because we try to bring money in so they don't have to go through the same stuff that we went through. But at the same time, instead of being parents, we try to be their friend. You cannot be a parent and be a friend.
Or the ATM machine.
Oh yeah, you know. So you have to wait until, you know, with my kids, you know. Okay, we talk, I listen, they listen, you know. But when they say I'm their friend, no, I'm not your friend. You know, I'm somebody that you can come to and confide in, you know. But when it comes to your well-being and my well-being, I am your parent. And that's the way everybody has to establish it, you know, because most times the kids act out, you know, like mostly with me. When I was as a kid, you know, I used to go actually for my mother's attention, you know, and coming from a family of 9, you know, and I was like the third oldest, you know. It seemed like, you know, you lose focus of the mothers, you know, and I used to do stuff just to get her attention, you know, because it was like the old Stevie Wonder song. Seemed like you gotta do wrong before they notice you.
Yeah. I was the same way too. Me and my mother, we had started off as a great love affair between a mother and a son, and then you know, as I got a little older, things weren't the same. You know, she had to get ends meet, feed the family, and take care of us and maintain the household, and I wanted that attention again. I guess, you know, I was kind of spoiled or whatever, so I wanted that attention again, but I wasn't receiving it. So I learned, I think when I was 6, that if I create, you know, start being mischievous, then I get that attention, and it carried over into my teenagers.
She just yelled at you.
Yeah. Oh, she noticed me now. You know what I'm saying? All right. So this is the way I gotta invoke something out of her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do some more mischievous things. But after a while, it became, well, I gotta top what I did last time to get more attention. You know what I mean? Or the same attention, as a matter of fact. So yeah, it snowballed into some hellish because it became a love-hate relationship at one point in time around my teenage years. But you know, we cool now. We good.
Yeah.
I think it's a natural progression of some relationships between parents and their children. So job training, green work. I know you mentioned Professor Ogletree and some other people. Aside from them, do you find it hard to find sponsors out there to help Why Murders movement?
Oh yeah, it's really hard because right now, you know, it's the economic, you know, the economy is so bad right now, and but I have a lot of people on board, you know, and actually just getting ready to start a big fundraising drive for it, because we're also doing, I think September the 15th, we're having a Baltimore Wake Up. I partnered with Sonia Song from The Wire, her program called We Ride for Change, and Joe Jones, Safe Street Hill with East Baltimore. A couple of us are coming together, and we want to do like a community town hall here in the city, bring all the actors from The Wire. You know, bring hopefully Professor Ogletree, and perhaps get somebody from the White House to come over and sit down and listen to what the community actually needs. You know, so this event is scheduled for September 15th. So
I would try to get some city councilmen,
yeah,
if you can, the congressmen of certain districts within the city, and hold them accountable if they don't show up. And if they do show up, give them hell. Let them know that people here are being neglected, and they feel like it's being intentional, and it's not going to hear what we got to say. Our voices will be heard. I think that's very detrimental to any community if you neglect people that's neglecting you, that you actually put in power to manage your communities. So
not only that, we have to try to put together these programs, because we have to stop looking at these people in the black community as a commodity. You know, right now, that's what all we are. You know, every program you go to, it's not how many people you help, it's how many people you can account for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you might not help nobody, but if 100 people come through the door, you get paid for 100 people, and that's what is going on there, is the numbers. You know, and that's what I call the useless program. You know, because if it's not there to help the community, you know, they're there to help themselves.
Yeah, they care more about numbers than the person or people. Yeah. So that's always gonna go wrong. Because numbers don't have feelings. Numbers don't eat. Numbers don't need shelter. They're just numbers.
And numbers make programs that want to actually come in and do something for the community. It makes it harder for them, because they say, oh, here come another one. You know, go rob us and leave us and more stuff than we were before they came. You know, so that's the whole purpose, is to bring together a unified group, so we can start working together as a family. You know, because that's the name of my production company. You know, Bound by Family. You know, and that's what we need to do, become a family.
How far do you see Why Murder going as far as making an impact in communities of Baltimore?
I know it's gonna go a long way, because I'm gonna take it every place I go. You know, if I had to get on Mount St. Holly and shout it out, you know, we're gonna make a difference in this community. You know, I can see it not only here, but I'm looking to make it a national event. You know, I want to take this national, because this Baltimore is just a stepping stone for what's going on in the rest of the country. Because what our problems here is the same problems that LA, same problem in Detroit, same Chicago. You know, we need to all come together and say, okay, you know, we need black leaders again. You know, these black leaders, supposedly black leaders, are not doing their job. And I can understand, because I was talking to my pastor, Frank Reed, and he was telling me, you know, if you have a congressman come in and he get bonded, you know, for $175,000 a year, you know, why would he risk helping anybody, you know, and go against the rest of his congressmen? You know, if he won't continue to collect that $175,000 a year for life.
Yeah, for life, off of taxpayers' money.
Yeah. So that's why nobody's doing anything, because they feel, okay, they're gonna get pushed off, but they fail to realize one thing: the people put them there.
Put you there, exactly.
And that's what I'm going to start doing. We're going to start holding these people accountable. You know, even though, you know, it might be against them, but we got to start holding our leaders, our black leaders, accountable. You don't come in like the Trayvon Martin and start a
Race.
moment. You started a moment. We need to start a movement like we did in the 60s.